trying to make people feel good about themselves by lying to them.
I mean, it's a process.
It is.
It's definitely a process. I'm okay with like this, but I'm not gonna lie. I miss having hair. I miss
remember
my
our
face
first
not
show.
being so poofy.
You remember our
but,
first
like,
show? Our first show. What did you do? You put your bamboo earrings on. You know what I'm saying? You had your tiger print on and stuff like that. And I seen that. And that's it. What I tell you the other day when you found out, the chemo wasn't working, right? And you went out and got your nails done. Keep doing you. Be flawless. You know what I'm saying? Like, big ups to the women out there who still want to take care of themselves because of themselves, not because the world.
Right.
They want the world to perceive them as something else. Take care of yourself because you want to look good to yourself.
And it makes you feel good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Self-care is not about self-caring for people to see you. Self-care is for you to see yourself.
Yeah.
It's how you perceive yourself. Go ahead. I know you want to talk, Joni. Go ahead with your big mouth, girl. Go ahead.
No, I'm actually glad that I listened to what you guys said before saying what I wanted to change for relationship type habits, because in a way it actually all kind of includes all of it. Is the habit that I have in a relationship is, well, there's two of them. The first one is the things that I like to do for myself, my little hobbies. Like, I read, I knit, I watch shows and things like that. Instead of doing it every day or anything like that, it would reduce to where I would never do my hobbies, except when the want to do those would just, I couldn't contain it anymore. And then I'd sit and binge or completely get consumed by, well, I think one of the last ones was knitting. I think Ashley's family can attest to that. But I literally would come home, sit down, and then it was 100 completely hyper-focused on knitting, because I denied myself from doing all of that, because the partner I was with, and it wasn't just this past one or anything like that, it's every relationship, is I shut down those things of me because I want to be able to share memories with the person I'm with, who I'm sitting right next to. And another one of them is it actually really ties in to Michaela and what she said, is actually stopping myself from having my opinions and standing up for myself, because it made them happy, or whoever happy, and made them feel like they're the big shot. And you're important to me, so I want you to feel important. But the habit that I have of shutting myself down to make that person feel like a big shot, doing so awesome, it's not fair to you, it's not fair to me, because then we lose who we are. And then not only do we lose it, to make it acceptable for everybody else is, in our heads, acceptable for everybody else is, we'll put the blame on ourselves.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna let him talk because he's right. No, he's not right. I'm making myself stop talking because I don't want to argue, right? I'm diminishing myself to make this person feel better, which isn't a great relationship thing in the first place, let's just be honest. But that's a habit that is, I don't know if I will ever be able to break that, in all honesty. I feel like maybe I'm getting a little bit better about it, but my habit is I diminish myself and who I am, because it makes in my head, I've made it okay to do that. Because
you should never have to make yourself smaller for someone else to feel bigger.
Yeah, I would catch myself complaining to myself multiple times about how I'm treated, like how I'm being treated by friends or relationships or whoever it is, and I'll sit here for hours straight just screaming and going and breaking down and just having a problem with all these things, and then I'll step outside my door and just accept all that BS all over again. And it's just, I don't know why you just can't just say no to people, why I can't just, to tell them like, okay, this is how I want to be treated. I think that a part of that has to do with at least for me, it has to do with a lot of bit of my abandonment issues. It's just like I'm very scared of being alone, and so I feel like I have to put up with a lot of things that people put me through so that I'm not alone and everything. And then most of the time it's like, because I'm so messed up in the head, I'm thinking that people have a good way of getting into my head, and when they do, they'll make me really believe that all these things are happening because of me, and the whole time it's not. Or it part of it, if it could be like part of it, I could have reacted better to this, or I could have did something. We always have things that we can do better in relationships and friendships, but like a lot of those things is just like people really got into my head and just really made me believe that I was like in the wrong, and that I was the messed up person, or that I was tripping and everything. And I still to this day have people playing in my face, and I have yet to be direct with it. Like I have people lying to me, and I don't understand why they feel they need to. People that mean a lot to me, and people that I grew up with. So it's just like, it's a lot of feelings behind that. I'll never understand people, and I will never understand why I have such a big heart.
I feel like something I've learned, just being a little bit older than you, is like we put a lot of weight on like how long we've known people. And I'm here to tell you that doesn't always mean shit. You don't owe people nothing. You really don't. And sometimes, and like that's hard, like that's grief that we experience when we have to let go of relationships that hurt us more than like help us. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing wrong with putting yourself first.
Absolutely not.
Nothing wrong at all. Nobody's gonna have your back like you have your back. Nobody.
So
I just started all of that, so like it took me 35 years to try and break habits, and I'm not very good at it. But it is something that, yeah.
This is what I think, though. This is something I want to give, just empowerment to women. Okay, I'm gonna be a simp, like they call these guys out here today. But I'm gonna tell you something. I learned this at a very early age of Christianity when I was reading the Bible, right? And I remember like when God gave Adam the control to name all the animals in the garden, right? So he's around him. This is a sheep. This is a lion. This is an ape. This is this, right? He's naming these animals. But these animals had needs. They had doing participating in actions that Adam was not aware of. And those actions probably were sexual actions, right? Because the animals had to replicate. They had to have babies and grow and keep going and going, right? So I'm pretty sure Adam was looking like, what the hell are they doing over here? Why don't I have somebody to do that with? This is my observation, right? And I'm like, I know because I was the first man in the garden and seeing all this. And I'm like, what's going on? Why? And there's other stipulations about how this took place as well. Other people opinion on it. Like he started having intercourses with the animals because that's what he's mimicking what he's seen. You feel me? So my clean version is that he said one day when God was walking with Adam, he said, hey, I want a companion. And so God said, okay. So when Adam went to sleep, God took his rib and made woman. Right? And that's literally God's gift to man was a woman. Now, how do you look at it? How biblical, how scripture you break it down to? Adam asked for something, right? If you ask for a Chanel purse or to get your nails done, you're saying the man's like, hey, here's money, here's a purse, he gifting you something, right? That's what a gift is. So before you guys start, criticizing yourself about how you look and how you are, remember that without you, there would be none of us. And I said this earlier, that this is face value, what you're showing. Be your true self and be who you truly are, no matter who you presenting yourself to. Your friends and family shouldn't be judging. You know what I'm saying? The people they call friends should be always having your back and always, reminding you how good of a friend you are. right? By being there, supported with you, by action, right? And not just by word of validation by mouth, but by actions. See, sometimes we think that to be approved, we need to see someone need to tell us this. No, sometimes an action proves that, that you mean a lot to them, right? So it's hard when you sit back as a man and watch three women on here and talk about, these problems, because I'm like, I don't think you guys understand from a true man's point of view where you guys are perceiving yourself, how strong you are just coming on a podcast and talking about things that most people don't want to hear. And being consistent and having conversations about lifting people up when when we dealing with problems, sickness, self-esteem, right? We still get to share and tell people how we feel and how to lift them up and make them feel about themselves. That's empowering. So if you want to jump on any type of horse, jump on that horse that we out here, we sharing things with people who are dealing with the same things you're going through, but don't have maybe the platform or the strength or the ability, right? Or just don't think they can do it because people ain't not going to watch them, or people ain't going to listen to them. We got 150 viewers, and people are watching and listening to these conversations, and they're giving feedback to these conversations that we having. So sometimes our lives, fuck that, all of our lives, I put it, it's not for me. It's for other people. I'm living for others because I'm good. Look at our lives. You breathing? You have friends, you have people. Yeah, you breathing. You coughing, you breathing still, bitch. You gotta breathe before you cough. So you breathing, right? Barely or not, we still breathing. And Ashley, let me tell you that. I'm glad you said that. In your situation, to look up at Michaela, right? Right now you look like the Brady Bunch family. You put your sister up there. You know what I'm saying? So like, you think about it. Look at what Ashley said to you. And look at what situation she's in right now. Right?
I just wish you could see what I see.
Exactly. But you can see it, right? By taking what you hear and applying it. That's what we don't do. We like to listen, but we don't like to apply shit we listen to, right? If people really listen to these conversations we have, right? They would now start to say, well, I need to apply this to my life. I would never in my life change who I was unless I applied what I was saying to myself in that mirror that day, trying to impress that, to suppress that demon, right? I had to apply it to my life. So I had to be a better father. I got to be a better husband. I got to be a better friend. I want to be better because I got to be better for myself first. That's the whole issue. We're not loving ourselves enough.
Yeah.
So you take what people say and perceive what they say to you, and you take that to heart because you don't even love yourself first. And how many times, KK, we had this conversation, right? You got to love yourself first, right? That's the number one rule. Take care of your first. # love yourself first. Because ain't nobody gonna, like Ashley just told you, ain't nobody gonna understand and love you the way you love you and understand yourself. Ain't nobody can do it but you.
I've been starting to just tell people I just been kind of like what Jonah was saying, just standing up for myself a little bit more, with things I remember I just had to send a nice little goodbye text to somebody earlier today. I was just, I told them, I said, people won't always understand this, and that's okay. And there's not a lot of people that crave peace as much as I'm craving it as much now. I didn't ever understand that until going through the things I went through, and then just being older and everything and a little bit wiser. It's just I just 100% crave my peace, and I don't want anybody around me that isn't gonna apply to that, give that or want that for themselves, because I feel like a lot of people in my generation are just so social media and just still trying to they're still trying to find themselves. And I feel like a lot of people are still in that confused, in the 20s you kind of get confused. You're kind of oh, should I be partying or should I be getting my stuff together? So then some people just don't be really knowing what to do with their lives and stuff like that, and they just go and talk about it to social media. See me, I'm just like, I'm not a social media brat. I'm not none of that. I don't really like surrounding myself with people that are like that, worried about the next person.